Hi, in this video we are going to discuss about the different types of component that we have in Java software. Java software is actually split into three major components. Number one is JDK, number two is JRE, number three is JVM. JDK is abbreviated to Java Development Toolkit. It's an abbreviation for Java Development Toolkit. JRE is an abbreviation for Java Runtime Environment, wherein JVM is an abbreviation for Java Virtual Machine. Now, in order to understand these components, let me first start with JDK, because that's the one that we have recently downloaded in our earlier video. So we know that the JDK software got downloaded into our machine, and then we install them through an installer, and then we set the path and the class path, and we ensure that the Java C and Java commands are recognizable by our machine. So now we are going to have the JDK as a major component of Java software. As I said in the earlier video, that JDK is meant for the developer who's going to develop the application. That's why it is highlighted as a development toolkit, right? Java Development Toolkit. If you and me are a developer, then obviously we have to download JDK into our local machine. JDK will internally contain JRE in it. It will contain JRE in it. Now, what JRE is all about? Java Runtime Environment. Runtime, the most important word that need to be understood here is runtime, wherein here it is a development. There's a big difference between a development and a runtime, right? So development points to the development of application using the software that's been installed. So you can develop applications out of it. But wherein in runtime, you can only run the application that's been developed using the development toolkit. So let's say, for example, I develop a calculator application using the Java Development Toolkit. The calculator application can be executed if you have a JRE installed in your machine, because it provides a runtime environment where your application can get executed, right? So there are two major components. One is Java Development Toolkit for developer and Java Runtime Environment for running the application. So let's take an use case like this. So you and me are developers, and we have developed an application, and the application is ready. And for that we need JDK in place. But the application need to be delivered to the client machine, or the client is going to use that application. If the client needs to use that application, the client in the client machine, the machine should be installed with JRE, that is Java Runtime Environment. Now what happens there is the client can execute the application which you have developed, but obviously they cannot develop the application from there on, or they cannot alter the applications from there on. The reason is they don't have JDK in them, but they have only JRE. And also we are not going to provide the entire source code to the client, wherein we are going to provide the executional code to the client. So obviously they are going to do nothing with that executional code, wherein they are just going to execute the application, make use of the application, and that's the point of the need for the client perspective. But being a developer, we the one who's going to maintain the source code, right? We the one who created the source code, we are the one who's going to maintain the source code. Wherein coming to the Java Runtime Environment, it's different. It's only for executing your developed application, and JRE can be downloaded separately, but JREs are inbuilt in JDK. So if I'm a developer, I want to develop an application, the second step that I will be doing is testing the application. I'll be testing the developed application. So once after we have developed the application, what we need to do is we need to check if the application is running successfully or not, or it meets the criteria of our requirement, or it meets the logic that we have that we are expecting for. So we need to go ahead and test the application. In order to test, you need to run the code, the developed source code need to be executed. So for that we will need JRE. But JREs are inbuilt. JREs are inbuilt in your JDK. So we don't need to worry upon having a JRE separately to be downloaded into our machine. So in the earlier video, we downloaded JDK, means we have JRE in it. That is the meaning. But for the client, that's not the case. They have to separately go ahead and download the JRE. And they don't need JDK. JDK is a little heavy in its weightage, but JRE is going to be slightly lesser than JDK's weightage. So JRE is going to be installed on the client machine, so they need only the runtime environment space. The third important component is the JVM. So JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Inside the JRE, you'll be having a JVM, Java Virtual Machine. The virtual machine is the one who's making the Java technology to be called as platform independent technology. The meaning is you can develop your application using, let's say, Mac operating system. I'm using right now Mac. So I'm using the Mac operating system to develop the application. Even though I have developed an application using Mac operating system, the application code, the executional code can be executed in Windows environment, because we have a JVM who will take care of creating an environment for every operating system and make sure the developed code can be further accustomed by each and every operating system with the help of this JVM. So it creates a virtual environment for making your Java application to get executed. So I don't need to develop an application separately for Windows. I don't need to create an application separately for Linux, wherein I don't need to create an application separately for my Mac operating systems. You develop an application using Mac, or you develop an application using Windows of this Java, you're sure to go with executing that code in any other operating system. So it is more of a machine agnostic or operating system agnostic, so that you can run your application in any operating system that you wanted to. So write once and run anywhere is the mantra behind the Java application or the Java programming language. We call it as WORA, W-O-R-A. Write once and run anywhere is the concept. So who's helping us in achieving that is JVM. To be noticed here, JVM is platform specific. So you have a JVM for Windows. So you need to go and download. So as I said, right, JVMs are inbuilt into JRE itself. So JVMs are part of JRE. So when you download JRE for Windows, what it means is you have a Windows specific JVM who knows the knowledge of that Windows operating system. You download a JRE for Linux. Okay, you will get a Linux versioned JVM attached to it, so that the JVM knows how to work around with Linux operating system. Then you can also download a JRE for Mac operating system, and it has its own version of JVM for it attached to the JRE. So that particular JVM knows how to operate on top of the Mac operating system. So JVMs are altogether, starting from the JRE perspective, they are platform specific, platform dependent, even we can say. JRE is platform dependent, meaning as for Windows you have a separate JRE, for Linux and Mac you have a respective JRE. When I say JRE, internally what it means is JVM. So JVM is also very specific to those operating systems. Then how do we call Java as a platform independent technology? The reason we are calling Java as a platform independent is because you develop the application in any of these operating systems. JVM will take care of interpreting that code to the respective operating system. So the common code that will be provided to any operating system to execute your Java application is called as .class file, which is a bytecode. It is called as a bytecode. That's what we are going to see more in detail in the next slide, in the next video. Now, the conclusion here is you will have three major components in Java: the JDK, the JRE, the JVM. JVM is part of JRE, and JRE is also part of JDK. So once you download JDK and install in your machine, you're getting the access to JRE and JVM as well. But if you're a client and you want to view it from the client perspective, then you don't need JDK software. Rather, you can rely on JRE, and again, you will have a JVM in it. And more interestingly, the JVM makes the Java technology to be called as platform independent, because JVMs are specifically available for each and every operating system, and they will take care of ensuring the bytecode that we generate will be executed in these platforms. So as a developer, I don't need to worry upon whether to develop an application specifically for Windows or specifically for Linux. My focus will be entirely on developing the application, writing a business logic, and then seeing that the logic works fine. But I don't need to think from the perspective of the operating system point of view. Rather, I think from the business logic perspective. So that's the power of Java. So the main power of Java is platform independency. So the three major components I've explained more in detail. If you find things are missing in the explanations, please post your queries on the comment section, or just post your query on the inbox that I mentioned in the slide. So you have an inbox ID, my inbox ID. You can just drop in your query out there as well, so that we can have a one-on-one conversation. So to summarize, Java is helping you to achieve WORA, write once, run anywhere, and that can be achieved via JVM. But to be specific, JVMs are platform specific. For each operating system, you have a specific JVM, but that makes your Java technology to be called as a platform independent. So that's it in this video. I'll catch up in the next video, and the next video it's going to be more interesting, because we are going to dwell more in detail about the compilation process, the execution process. Okay, so all other architectural aspects of Java which we need to learn more in detail. Thank you.